Welcome to rSlash where we have warm and fuzzy stories that will make you feel glad to be alive. Our first story comes from a deleted user who posted his story under rSlash from Tech Support. Now, I know you're not expecting a super fuzzy feel-good story out of rSlash from Tech Support, but believe me when I say that this is one of the most feel-good and entertaining stories on all of Reddit. You guys are in for a treat. I was thrust a laptop by an angry executive early this morning with him complaining that his laptop had locked up again. Normally, we have a ticketing system in place for any and all tech issues. However, when an executive wants something, he bypasses the system because rank has its privileges. So I go through the normal routine of diagnosis, and through my efforts, I see that the issue is simply bad RAM. I replace the RAM and take the unit back to the executive. He tells me he refuses to take the unit unless I have made 100% sure that everything that was wrong with it is fixed. Internally, I wanted to punch this man, but I held it in and simply asked him what other issues he was having and pulled out a notepad. He ran through a load of issues that all screamed, "Just run freaking CCleaner" to me, and I took his unit back to my desk. After going through and cleaning out BS installed programs used literally once and never again, and cleaning out junk data, I found that a folder in his roaming was reading 12 gigabytes but was hidden. I log in with my credentials and enable viewing hidden or protected files, and I see that the hidden folder was from 2014. Basically, it was just a bunch of old pictures and looked to be a temp folder created by one of the old programs I removed. Some kind of picture manager or some such? Normally, when we see personal pictures on the machine, we are supposed to delete them immediately. Now, no one ever does this, as we are not such big dicks in the IT department. Plus, this guy was an executive, so I decided to just move the pictures to his desktop under a folder I created called Old Pics. I took the laptop to him and informed him of the pics, telling him I left it up to him if he wanted them deleted or not. He thanked me for my time, and I went back to work. About an hour later, him and his wife, who had come up to join him for lunch, came over to my desk. He seemed very happy, and she was crying. Now, normally when I have nothing to do and a boss comes over, I stand up to greet them. Just the way I was raised, I guess. I was not prepared for what followed and was totally shocked by the outcome. The lady wanted to thank me for finding the pictures, and the executive reached out to shake my hand, thanking me profusely before pulling me into a hug in front of the entire IT department. I awkwardly hugged him back, and he let me go, embarrassed. My eyes are wide, flabbergasted, and totally unprepared for this extremely out-of-character moment for this guy. Barely able to hold back tears, his wife tells me that the pictures I recovered were thought to be lost. In 2012, their 4-year-old son had died of leukemia, and the pictures I recovered were taken right before his diagnosis at 3 years of age. Because of a house fire a few years ago, they thought they lost every last photo of their son. Apparently, those were the photos I had recovered. His wife reached out to hug me, and everyone in the IT department stared at their screens hard with puffy eyes, as we were all not expecting this kind of emotional event today. My boss came out of his office to personally thank me and forwarded an email chain to me ahead of a company-wide email that the CEO sent out, basically retelling the tale while naming me personally. He threw in words about striving for excellence and the unexpected results of everyday excellence. I had to turn off my Skype for Business as the attaboys kept coming in one after the other. My boss told me to take my lunch early since the flood of messages was making it hard to do my job. Well, OP, let me add one more attaboy to the pile because, oh my god. Plus, I expect that if you scroll down to the comments, you will see quite a few more attaboys added on top of mine. Seriously, OP, that was a bro move. Our next post comes from Hooters But With Cats. My kid is gaming with friends, so I brought him a snack and he says, "Thanks, love you." Then laughter erupts from the headset and he goes, "What, you don't love your mothers? I'm sad for you. So if you need me, I'll just be over here sobbing into my world's best mom ribbon." We read so many r/entitled parents posts on this channel that sometimes we forget that this is what a normal, healthy, loving interaction looks like between a non-entitled mother and a kid. And just a quick reminder everyone, Mother's Day is in about a week. Our next post is from Wadawan Habib. My mom always made me a birthday cake every year for 44 years. 2 months since she died, and my old dad tried his hardest and my heart melted. In the world's best dad competition, I'd say this guy takes the cake. Our next post is from Dark0602. Dear r/Ask Reddit, what's your dirty little secret? I secretly watch my friend's streams and support him without him knowing by using a different account. He gets very few viewers, so I talk to him throughout the stream to keep his spirits up. You know, I'm suspicious of the same thing. I don't think I have this many followers. I have a sneaking suspicion that my mom just made 800,000 different YouTube accounts and is supporting me on all of them. Our next post is from Dobby is a free pup. Just watch a man bringing home a goldfish on the train accidentally pop the bag. Fish flops onto the floor. 3 people swarm to save him. The fish, not the man. Guy chugs the last of his coffee and throws the fish in his cup. Lady next to him empties in her bottle of water. You know, that's a really sweet story, but a fish swimming around in slightly coffee water kind of makes me think that's probably the most awake fish in the world. Our next post is from Boop20. Hope to all the hard parents. I'm the divorced parent of a 9 and 12-year-old. Always up against Disneyland dad. I made peace a long time ago with the fact that they will always hate me for the chores, homework, and behavior rules I enforce. Tonight, my 12-year-old told me I am such a good mom. This after I made them earn time for electronics by hanging up clothes and doing dishes. I said I was sorry, I am not always fun mom. My 12-year-old said, "It's okay mom, you're doing it for a good reason, to teach us about life." My heart be still as I fall asleep. Maybe I'm not as horrible as I feel. Listen, lady, I'm something of an expert on terrible mothers, and let me assure you, based on this post, you are not a terrible mother. Our next post is from Alfake. Yesterday, I walked from my store to my car through the mall. There was a special needs kid that was walking next to me. I was wearing a dark blue V-neck t-shirt and my thick Clark Kent glasses. Hair was dark from the product in it and was firmly in place except for the little spit curl on my forehead. He kept pace and I said hello. He had to ask me something. He leaned in close and whispered, "Are you Superman?" I chuckled a little bit. "Thanks, kid, no." His face remained dead serious. "I won't tell anyone," he said. "You're very nice, thank you. I'm not though. Superman isn't And this kid had this look on his face. "I won't tell anyone. I promise. I swear." I'm an emotional guy, so I was getting a little choked up. "We are not supposed to talk about secret identities, kid. It can get dangerous." And he starts enthusiastically nodding in agreement. I know. When I was almost to the doors, I turned back and took my glasses off and put my finger up to my lips and went, "Shh." And as best as his limbs would let him, he gave me a thumbs up. I've been welling up thinking about it for about 24 hours now. Thought I was crazy until I told Shanna last night and she had the same reaction. 100% totally true story, and despite his disadvantages in life, perceived and real, I thanked that kid for being a superhero yesterday. I guess it's true what they say, not all heroes wear capes. Our next post is from Initsua. Posted to r/confessions. I lie about my cat all the time. So I have an extremely friendly kitten. He's only 2 or so and absolutely adores being pet or getting attention. Anytime I have company over, I always warn them about how much he dislikes people. It's not because I want to be the sole provider of affection for him or because I want the guest to leave him alone. I just really like the look on their faces when this problem kitty comes up and cuddles with them and seeing how special it makes them feel. On that note, you should see my expression when Yugo lets me get through an entire video without any interruptions. Our next post is from RJ16. My kid was upset about being in timeout, so she did the only logical thing her 4-year-old brain could think of, which was to act like a Pikachu using a thunder attack on me. Then we stared at each other in silence until she whispered, "Nothing is working. She's too powerful." The only thing that would have made this better is if she said, "Nothing is working. It's not very effective." Our next post is from Ban All Pineapples. When we were babies, my dad was a stay-at-home dad while my mom kicked butt in the courtroom. But he would carry my twin brother and me around with one baby on the front and one on his back in backpacks. And women would come up and look at how cute I was and coo over me and be like, "Aw, how cute, wow." And my dad would be like, "You know what's cuter than one baby?" And then he'd spin around and bam, there was my brother. Our next post is from Reinbu Dersh. Dear rSlash Ask Reddit, what's the best job quitting story you can tell? I had to lay off my entire staff and myself with 8 hours notice. I was the contract project manager on a government type project, office type work. At our periodic review on Thursday, the government announced they would not be renewing our contract and our last day was Friday, the next day. I brought everyone into the conference room first thing the next day, let everyone know that we were all out of a job and that today was everyone's last day. I had everyone email me their resumes and we went over everyone's on the conference room projector and updated them over the course of the day. I then printed out reference sheets for everyone and we all spent the remainder of the day writing letters of recommendation for each other. I ordered everyone pizza and bought everyone a round of drinks at the bar next door. Most folks had jobs by the end of the next week. That's pretty different from my last boss. I got fired the day before my health insurance renewed. So as I was driving home from work after being fired, I was actually uninsured during that car trip. Our next post is from Jeff Trav. I know you're asking for $1,200 and that seems like a good price. Would you be willing to hold it until next week? I really need a car, but I have to wait till my taxes come. Sorry, I already told someone I wouldn't hold it. That's fine. I've had a hard time finding something reliable in my price range. I'm borrowing my mom's car now, but it's tough to get me and her to work and my kids to preschool, but we're making it work. Hopefully I'll get my taxes back next week. No prob. I actually just want the car to go to someone who needs it. If you need it, you can have it. Thanks so much. I'll let you know as soon as the direct deposit comes through. So excited. No, I mean, do you want the car for free? I wanted to make sure whoever got it actually needed it, so I didn't list it as free. Because everyone would have needed it, but probably just resold it. What? Are you serious? You don't have to do that. The price is fine. I wouldn't feel right not paying for it. No, seriously, I want to give it to someone who needs it, and you seem to genuinely need it. It's yours. No money needed. I'm crying. Are you kidding? Why would you do that? No, not kidding. I don't need it and I figured someone else did. I'm glad you'll be able to use it. Can you meet today or tomorrow? Are you sure? I'm so excited and can't believe this. You have no idea how much this will bless me and my kids. Oh my gosh, I'm literally crying now. Yes, I can meet whenever you want, but I definitely don't have money to pay for it right now. Lol, no money needed, really. Except to register it, I guess. Let me know if you need help with that too. I want to get you driving it ASAP. Thank you so much. Are you real? This feels like a dream. Guys, we found it. This is the mythological seller that every choosing beggar thinks that they're actually negotiating with. I didn't know people like this actually existed. Our next post is from Marjal. Dear rSlash Ask Reddit, what's a secret your SO still doesn't know about you and why have you kept it secret? About 8 years ago, I discovered my wife's sister's Reddit account accidentally. It was a variation of a username she'd used for AIM before, but with different numbers and no underscore. The numbers were a significant date to her though. There were too many coincidences in her posts for it not to be her. She was posting on the relationship advice subreddit. Her now ex-husband was abusive. We'd known something was off about him, but couldn't really put our finger on it. I created another account that I only access from incognito mode to send her encouragement to leave and to ask her family or friends, but kinda steered her towards us for help. She didn't want to impose or be a burden on any of them. We just had a kid and I make a bunch of money, but we live well within our means, so you wouldn't think this based on appearances, so it was an understandable concern. I slowly, over several weeks and several different posts she made, convinced her that it's possible her family realized something isn't quite right and would not consider it a burden to help her out. After their divorce, I deleted that account. Nobody will ever know that the random internet stranger who was weirdly persistent in encouraging my sister-in-law to reach out to her family for help and leave her abusive marriage was actually me. It's kind of crazy to think that this sister-in-law is going to go through her entire life without ever knowing what her brother-in-law did for her. Unless, of course, a Reddit YouTuber decides to cover this story and the video goes viral and she sees the post on YouTube. Uh-oh. That was rSlash Humansbeingbros. I've had a couple of fans reach out to me and say that they feel like it's really hard to tell when one story ends and another story begins, so they thought I should add some sort of sound effect, like a bell in between each story. I thought instead of doing that, I could just verbally shout out OP, which I tried in this video. So let me know if you think this made the stories flow a little bit smoother with clear starts and endings, or if you think I should go back to the old style.